This is a tankless water heater. It is a creature to behold. It is a Lamborghini. It never runs out of hot water. And it saves you money on your hot water, so you're getting more hot water for less money. It's pretty nice, huh? Action required. Extend your labor coverage. Okay, remove after registration. Alright, you need to register this thing. Tankless water heater. I don't know where to start. One, I can't find the instructions. Because if I had the instructions, I would put my business card on the pages that I'm about to talk about. Because you can find what I'm about to talk about in the installation instructions. A lot of what I'm about to talk about. Okay? See this right here? That is the condensate drain line. Alright? That is a condensate drain line because this thing rakes so much heat out of the flames and puts it into the water to save you money. Rakes it out and puts it into the water to save you money so that we can have this plastic cap. Okay? It is exhausting carbon monoxide. It is exhausting all kinds of noxious stuff. That's why we have this condensate drain line right here. The condensate drain line, the condensate is acidic. And if it's not drained out through that port, properly drained out through that port, if it's not drained out through that port, then it's going to go inside your heat exchanger. It's going to cause all this to corrode out in about 5 or 7 years. I see it all the time. So you paid extra for a car you can't drive. Your poor Lamborghini is just sitting in the, it looks good, but it doesn't work. Doesn't work. Why? Because I didn't get rid of the acid. I put all the acid inside the motor. Like fuel stabilizers, things like that, so these things are important to our, Tectorol or Tectorine in the gasoline that you buy, all these things are important to the combustion engine. We're wrecking it. We're totally wrecking it right here. Now this water heater is supposed to be serviced about now. Once a year, this screen gets serviced. And that's not very expensive. You can go on YouTube and they'll show you how to do it. If you don't know how to do it, you're going to get wet. So make sure you know how to do it. If you're not hands-on, just have a plumber come in here and clean this spring once a year. Okay? After you get your your condensate drain line installed, and it should have a loop in it, and it should have an air brake in the same room as the water heater before it goes outside. How would you do that? You would do that with a safety pan. You do that with a safety pan. It's supposed to have that. And then since it's going outside on your grass where you're going to be playing, where your dog's going to be drinking, where all those things are happening, maybe you don't want it to be acidic. Maybe you want a neutralizing filter. So it would come out here and make a loop. Come down here, you'd have a neutralizing filter. Discharge into the pan. The pan would discharge outside. Then turn this. Okay, this is your pressure relief valve. And I'm going to open it today. One, it discharges too close. Okay. One, it discharges too close to the ground outside. It's supposed to be a 3-inch gap. But when you replumb the safety pan, you can do that. Because this pipe is supposed to have an air gap in the same room with the water heater. And how would you do that? You'd do that by installing a pan. And so the builder might say, well, they never said that you need a pan. Well, that's true. But you're supposed to have an air gap here. And how would you rectify that? A pan would. A pan's cheap and easy. Okay, we'll come over here and we got a condensate drain line, and it's got a discharge in an open area in the same room with the water heater. How would you do that? You do that with a pan. Pans don't cost very much. They don't. It's not worth the builder. I don't understand. The builder will spend days arguing about that when he could just handle it and do it right in a good and workmanlike manner. I don't understand. I was been looking for this guy. But that is our bond for our gas piping. It's our gas piping bond. So I was looking for that. And I already talked about our screen. I'm going to talk about one more thing right here. See that little red tape right there? And again, I am going to would have put a business card in the manual where it shows that you're supposed to adjust this with a manometer. Most plumbers don't even have a manometer. They just bolt these things up and go. If they do have one, it's dusty, it's underneath a seat somewhere, hasn't been used in years. Just say, yeah, I got one, so I know how that works. I don't work a lot different than that in a lot of regard. I understand. I can get behind the theory of it all, but no. The gas was not adjusted. Is it going to make hot water? Obviously, it's going to make hot water. Will it save you some money? It'll probably save you a little bit of money for as long as it's operating, because it's not going to operate very long because you didn't deal with your condensate. It's not going to operate very long because you didn't clean your screen. But, if you did those things, it would still work. It would still work. Because they know about how much pressure comes into a residential home, so they're kind of preset. But you want to dial this Lamborghini in, this Maserati, okay? You want to dial this Maserati in, you want to get the best performance you can, you want it installed like it should have been installed, and then that's what you want. And this is what's holding it to the wall. Drywall screws. And they're not even screwed in. And that's all that's holding it to the wall. It's just hung up there like a picture. It's just hung up there like a those driven in, 4 drywall screws, 2 partially driven in. That's just sad. Okay, I wouldn't consider that secure, and I would not consider that installed in a good and working manner.